Welcome to Where in the World? This episode we're going to share about our brief stay in Amsterdam, one of my favorite cities. Welcome. Hope you enjoy. As I mentioned in our previous blog, we took the train from the airport to Central Station, and our hotel was just a brief walk from Central Station, so we didn't need to get a taxi or any other type of transportation. The hotel that we stayed at was the DoubleTree by Hilton at the Amsterdam Central Station. When you talk about being near the Central Station in the States, sometimes that's not the best spot. That's not the coolest, safest spot. But this hotel was in a really excellent location. It was central to all of downtown Amsterdam. So really felt good about where we were in the city. Additionally, the hotel had on the rooftop the Sky Lounge, which any of its patrons had access to. And it was a bar which overlooked the entire city, so another good reason to stay there. The room was really well appointed, kind of your average Hilton kind of product, and it also had a nice view. But before looking at the view, we had to have we made it hug. And then after that, took a little bit of time just to look out over the Central Canal into the city of Amsterdam. One of the first things we did after we got situated in the hotel room was we walked just down the street to a grocery store where we were able to get water, snacks, things that would make our stay a little bit more comfortable while we were there. As you can see, it was a gorgeous day and a wonderful sunny opportunity to be outside. Pro tip. So most of the time when you're going to Europe, you're flying overnight and getting there in the morning. So in order to deal with jet lag, what you really want to do is you want to try to stay awake for most of the day. And one of the best ways to stay awake is to go outside in the sunlight. So what we did was we took a nice long walk to Rembrandt Park and back. And by that time, we were getting close to dinner time. So we achieved our goal to stay awake most of the day. One of the things I find amazingly cool about Amsterdam is the low level of noise pollution. If you're a city person like I am, and particularly downtown in most major American cities, there is so much noise because there are so many cars. But if you look at the video of us walking in central Amsterdam, you notice that there are very few cars, which makes it relatively quiet. Very, very nice place to just walk and to be. The next day, we activated our iAmsterdam Pass. The card allows you to ride free on public transportation in Amsterdam. It allows you to get into a number of attractions free. It gave us free first day bike rental. It's really a nice value. Speaking of bikes, one of my favorite things to do is ride around the city like the locals on our bikes. So we rented bikes, and these little red bikes we got from Mac Bikes, The red bikes are a clear sign you are a tourist, but like everything else, it comes with a benefit. So, for example, if you're at an intersection and you don't seem to know where you're going, people will cut you a little bit more slack. In addition, if you park your bike in front of somebody's door, which we did, people will also cut you a little bit more slack. So, anyway, yeah, rent a bike. It's the best way to get around Amsterdam. After renting our bikes, we were off to see the sights. The first stop was the Van Gogh Museum. I have a friend that lives in Amsterdam, and he gives me a little heat about saying Van Gogh. There's a little throat scratchy thing that's supposed to happen in there. It's more like Van Gogh, you know? But yeah, I can't be pretentious and say it that way. So I'm just going to say it the American way. Van Gogh Museum. And it is awesome. It's definitely a must-see. And right down the street from the Van Gogh Museum is the Rijk Museum, another great place to stop that has all sorts of art from early Amsterdam period to modern. Another pro tip, the way to navigate around the city on your bike is to use Google Maps and put one earbud in your ear. And that way you can hear the directions as you are traveling, but at the same time, you can talk to the people that you're with. It works out pretty well. Didn't really get lost at all. On our second day in Amsterdam, we woke up and the weather was looking a little bit sketchy. So we decided to take the subway to the Cuyp market, which is one of the most popular markets in Amsterdam. It is a great place to go mingle with the locals, get a freshly made stroop waffle. Oh my goodness, doesn't get any better than that. And pick up t-shirts and stuff like that. It was a great walk. We enjoyed our time there immensely. Another must-see in Amsterdam is the Redlight district. As you may be aware, Amsterdam is one of the few cities where prostitution is legal and openly practiced. The red light district consists of a variety of bars, but also they call them windows, in which sex workers sit, smile, and try to entice potential customers in. It's pretty interesting. As you can see, we are walking through it during the daytime, but at night it becomes really packed and has a huge party atmosphere. Also here you can find a couple of different sex museums where they talk about the history of prostitution in Amsterdam and the controversies about city officials are currently thinking about moving it out of the center of Amsterdam. They think that it presents the wrong image. However, Amsterdam is a place that has a great deal of tolerance and a very forward-thinking attitude. So for them, it seems perfectly appropriate. Evening, meeting up with a young man who is from Amsterdam, who I met while he was in college here in the States and who has moved back, and his girlfriend who is originally from the States and has moved to be with him. We had an amazing dinner and a wonderful time catching up. It's always great when there are people that you know that live where you're going. So anyway, shout out. On our final morning in Amsterdam, we had two last important things to do. The first was go on a canal cruise, and the second was have awesome Dutch pancakes. And so we did those things in that order. On the canal cruise, we met this lovely French newlywed couple and enjoyed the sights and tour of Amsterdam from the water. The last thing we did was have one of my favorite culinary treats, Dutch pancakes. You can buy them sweet or savory Any way you like, they're just awfully tasty. After that, we took the train back to the airport, and we were on our way to Morocco. I hope you join us there and that you enjoyed this video. Bye.